So, how's it going, guys? Coming to you from Vintage Iron Garage. As you can see, I've got my 78 K5 Blazer in the shop. Why is it in the shop? Well, can't be for a good reason, right? So I just got through making the video, only to realize my camera battery died. So during the recent cold spell, I ended up with sort of like the shopping cart wheel feeling of this one front tire wobbling around, and took a look at it out in the driveway, and it ended up being the lower ball joint. So that's a fairly big job, so I cleaned out the shop and made arrangements to bring it in. And so what I found out so far is that it's not the ball joint itself. Where am I looking here? Okay, well anyways, it's not the ball joint itself. However, I am going to have to replace it. But somehow the ball joint came loose in the steering knuckle. The tapered shaft was no longer tight, and that's where the looseness was. So that's pretty bad, because that probably means the steering knuckle itself has to be replaced. So of course, because it was loose, I couldn't get the nut off. So I ended up using the little Chinese plasma cutter and cut the nut in half. And so I got that off that way, easy enough. I dropped the A-arm, but now to get at it, you have to undo the tie rod, because you got to be able to swing this whole steering knuckle out of the way. And so, lo and behold, I'm having the same problem with the tie rod. And now I can't get the... Well, there, that's the nut. And I was able to get it that far, and it started spinning. And I'm like, you son of a... So, can't get it to go back on, can't get it to come off. I've hammered on it to try and reseat that taper in there. I've put the block of wood and put pressure from underneath, and no, nothing. So, most likely, maybe even that taper is wallowed out too, I don't know. I don't know. I can't even get the thing apart to take a look at the ball joint taper, so... Oh, what an ordeal. So I'm probably just going to have to cut the tie rod, get another tie rod. The ball joint might have been okay, but I've, plasma cutted the nut, so now the threads are screwed, so it's going to have to be replaced anyways. And then maybe I'll have to replace this whole knuckle. And you know what? That's real funny, because I already replaced this knuckle once, because this bearing failed, and it messed up the threads and the taper where that bearing fits, and then the new bearing would never you can never preload it properly because it didn't fit right. So funny. There was a parts truck at home, or at my dad's place, I mean, but it's got my old steering knuckle on it, so that ain't no good. So if I need a knuckle, I don't know. He does have another. We might have another parts truck that I could steal it from, but I don't know. Well, we'll have to see. Maybe even just temporarily steal it. That might work. Ah, lovely, lovely. And figured, while I have it in the shop, I might go ahead and, well, what I would like to do is replace my little Class, I guess that's a Class 2 trailer hitch. I've got a Class 4 for it, so I wouldn't mind putting that on, but that would mean I have to drop my exhaust. So if I'm going to drop my exhaust, I might as well go ahead and re-weld it, because I only ever welded all these joints on the bottom side. So I could drop the pipes, fully weld them all. Actually, a perfect example of why I'd want to do that is right up here. Because you can see that connection's been leaking. So I could weld that up. Weld up my pipes. I've got a set of MagnaFlows for it I could throw on. It's a lot of work though. And then to put that hitch on, I gotta drop the gas tank. That's no fun. I don't know, but I'm planning to be getting a bigger trailer, small dump trailer, so maybe I should upgrade that stuff now. I mean, you know, rated for 3,500 pounds, but that would be pushing the limits of, well, of what it's rated for, so, because the trailer I'm looking at is a 2.5 ton, so tongue weight wise I'd probably be fine. And it's optional to get your, you can get it with electric brakes or not, and that determines whether you have 5-pin or 4-pin flat or the 7-pin round one with electric brakes. So if I go that route, I probably should also upgrade the hitch. Mind you, it would probably make more sense to upgrade the hitch if I'm not going to have brakes on the trailer, because it'll put more force on the truck. So so that's what I got going on this week. It's been a long week. I really want to get this truck back on the road. Like I said, I want to get another trailer, and I plan to be using this thing, so, and it's taking up my shop. Can't have that. Another wonderful surprise was, if you remember the last time I did a video of my Malibu, and it was parked, you know, just outside the door here. Well, it's been sitting ever since. And I fired it up, and, you know, it was running fine. And I got in the car to move it, and it was a bit wet. And then I'm driving it, and, it's, you know, it's raining on me. And I realized the car was full of water to the point that it was condensing on the roof. And the headliner's out of the car, but it has like some Dynamat or something up there. And that stuff was all soaked and moldy. It was wet around my rear window. The whole rear dash package tray was moldy and soaked. The rear seat soaked. The trunk is soaked. I'm willing to bet the floor pans are soaked. So I'm letting the car air out the best I can. And it'll have to come in here. And I'll have to look at that rear window or something and seal it up, or I don't know. But I certainly wasn't expecting that. An unwelcomed surprise. Speaking of unwelcomed surprises, so I got a bit of hat head going on, and that's because I've been using my welding helmet while I was using a little plasma cutter. And then because I'm working in this, you know, 2 foot by 2 foot little area, stepped on my welding helmet. Isn't that awesome? Had this thing since high school, and it's, well, trash now. So that's lovely. I have a spare, but I don't know, I don't like it too much. That's why it's a spare. So I might go ahead and just see if I can get another one. They're not cheap, but you need it, right? So there you go, guys. Nothing too interesting. Just a little shop update of what I got going on and kind of what I deal with all the time. One unexpected surprise after another, right? So what can you do? Just roll with it. Hopefully I get the truck on the go and I get my new trailer and everything will be good. Hopefully next time I'll have some content that's a little more exciting for you. So until then, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, well, I'll see you then.